I think evidence and innovation are brothers and sisters, right? It's a part of the same family. You want to leave some room to try new things. And so you want to make sure, even in the work that you're doing in the nonprofit space and the national service space, that you have room to test and try new things, but you also don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Evidence should be used to prove and improve. You really should take a look at evidence as a way to not only prove what's working, but to improve.
Evidence doesn't only mean interventions and nonprofits that have been around for years, that have had the resources to do evaluations. Evidence-based policymaking also means making those important investments in those new early stage ideas as well. We're big proponents of tiered evidence structures so that someone or some organization that has an interesting idea with a strong logic model could still apply for and receive federal funding from AmeriCorps and other federal agencies. That's an important part of the learning process.
We wanted to ask ourselves, how today are we delivering on our mission? Deciding if we fund this, not that, deciding if we go to this project or that project. And so data, evidence, all of these pieces are so intertwined, and making sure that our performance is as high as possible. Data is critical for what we do, and I think for me it's critical for lots of reasons. We have extreme finite resources, financial and human resources both. So how do we use data to make sure that those are applied in the best way possible for the highest return?
By building up our data that we have today and being able to look at trends over time, we're better able to target the communities that we're looking to better serve and also measure the communities that we have served.
For us, in our evidence-based grant making, we give you a point of entry. You don't have to have like perfect and strong evidence. We want to be able to help support you in building your evidence. So as long as you're able to provide a sufficient amount of evidence and utilize an evidence-based strategy or evidence-informed strategy, you can enter into our world of like developing this.
To use data effectively in operations, you have to start thinking about the questions from the beginning. Being really clear about what needs to be measured, what needs to be examined, what needs to be uncovered from the start, not after the process is completed, but starting from a place of what are we trying to do and what do we need to learn in order to do it well. We were really intentional and worked with our colleagues in the Office of Research and Evaluation to think about how to capture that information in time to be able to make adjustments for the next phase and then adjustments again for the next phase.
Everybody touches data, creates data, reuses data. So there has to be some expectation for how we care and feed for that data in order to leverage it as an asset.
How do we build this mindset towards growth and progress? Data is important, gathering that information is important, and then making it easy to access. Having everyone be able to engage in the conversation about what is happening. Evidence sometimes gets caught up in jargon. And I think that's why a lot of times people take that step back. And so how do we help tell the stories and help people understand that everything they do is provide some kind of data and insight that helps us do our work and do it better.
We're looking to capture the passion that people have now and operationalize how we manage data. By introducing these maturity steps for how you manage data and putting in some rigor, we can actually be much more agile. We can get to a data-driven decision-making process and people have confidence in whatever data they use.